Yours is way better. Like way more better stuff.
Okay. Now, speaking of burial grounds, this area right here, that tombstone, it is over a Jewish burial. Used to be no burial ground there. We put a lot of our squares over as we moved out to the city and built and built and built. Some burial grounds were taken, but that is dedicated. The tombstone is dedicated to the Jewish individuals that came here in June of 1733. There were 44 individuals that came across. They were from Portugal, Spain, and Germany. Whenever they got here, the trustees really did not want to let them in because they didn't want them to be a part of their colony. But General Oglethorpe insisted that they do come in and become a part. And that was a very wise thought process because a few months after they landed, we had one of our first yellow fever epidemics. We've had 3. They have taken, each epidemic has taken at least 10% of the city each time that it happened. But the colony doctor had passed away of the yellow fever. Then the new Jewish colony had the only doctor to take care of the people, so he saved the city. Poor doctor. Over here on our left is another view of our civic center. As you see, it's very, very large. It takes up the whole block. A lot of our buildings now they're very large. I don't have a reason for that. I'm a little shocked at some of the size of some of these places. Speaking of which, here we're coming up to our courthouse. Our new courthouse is not quite completed yet. Remember I said there were 2 wall squares. One was took the place for the Civic Center, took one of them. Our courthouse here has taken another. It was our Liberty Square that used to be here, named after the Sons of Liberty during the Revolutionary War. Something that I didn't tell you guys about during the Revolutionary War that I find fascinating is we have not had very many battles here in our city. The Revolutionary War, the British took over our fort very early in the war, and they stayed here until the war was over. Actually, we fought that we could not take Savannah back during the Revolutionary War. During the Civil War, that General Sherman came into our fort. Well, he burned his way through Georgia, and then they went out and came to our fort, and he was here in December of 1864. And they stayed until the war was over here. So we didn't have a lot of battles. There was no, whenever General Sherman came here, there was not a battle fought in Savannah, in the city, because the Union soldiers outnumbered them 3 to 1. And so General Hardee decided to cross the river. They made different back in those days. So they made a bridge of cotton pontoons, and they had weights, like weights to keep them in place. They put planks on the board to make up the board for it. Anyway, they made a makeshift bridge to retreat across the river to South Carolina. And they pushed the Hardee government, Hardee everybody's name, better use the Hardee. And whenever they crossed, they cut the pontoons off so the Union soldiers could not pass. So they cannot want to damage the city of Canada. And so whenever the soldiers were here, there was no battle fought for the Civil War. But for the only battle that was really fought here in our land here was the Siege of Savannah in 1779. It happened to be the very largest battlefield in the entire Revolutionary War. It was very deadly for the American rebels. They killed over 1,200 men. And when the battle was over, only 400 men, the British. So the Americans and the French took a very hard loss during that battle. And it only lasted 5 minutes. And it went so long that there was a ceasefire that the British stopped firing to allow the French and the American troops to bury their dead. We don't going up truck stop number 1. I want to say thank you everyone for riding our trolley.